Welcome to HDTV. You're now rocking with your boy. I hit the opera on you knockers. So, if you have a chance, you need to go check out Lamar Odom's interview with All the Smoke, as well as him with DJ Vlad, man. Lamar Odom, man. And then I went back and watched Kobe's old All the Smoke. It was good. People forget Lamar Odom was LeBron way before LeBron. He literally was like a point guard that was in a forward's body. Lamar Odom, if he would have been with the Clippers, if they would have never broke that team up with him, Elton Brand, Miles, Q Rich, Jeff McInnes, Corey Maggette, Kenyon Dooling, that squad would have won them. They would have been dangerous for years to come. And this is the problem. People quickly forget how great or how good a team could have been. Quentin Richardson, little big man, he was like a Charles Barkley. He was battling for rebounds and he could hit the three. People forget. Lamar Odom talked about his story, talked about the times, when he was running it, talked about a young D-Wade, how D-Wade came up, talked about how he could have deaded the trade, which I don't believe. They were going to trade him regardless for Shaq at that time. You would have traded for Shaq. Now, Lamar Odom talked highly of Kobe Bean. Talked about how he learned how to take it to another level by playing with Kobe Bryant. When he was in Miami with Pat Riley, he talked about the differences between Pat Riley and Phil. Pat Riley was a man's man. Pat Riley's going to be straight-faced with you. He's going to be a man, and he's going to talk to you as a man. And he'll treat you as a man. Not only that, he taught you how to play the game the right way. That's why I love Pat Riley. And Pat Riley, Carcino probably can talk about this. Shout out to him. Man, shout out to you, man. You had me rolling. Carcino had me rolling today on the Patreon when he did the Rick James and Don King. If you sign up to my dog Patreon, because that is funny. He had me on the flow, especially when Don King turned into a Negro real quick. Don't you F with my money. Don't you F with my money. No. That joke was funny, boy. But yeah. Now, Lamar Odom, a guy who probably could have been one of the greatest to ever play this game. What messed Lamar Odom up was his vices. Partying and being on drugs really messed him up. He talked about with Pat Riley, how Pat Riley, before he signed the contract, that he needed to have his family down there with him. And that's one thing that's key. His family was down there and he felt good. But then when he got a chance to go back to LA, he learned a lot. He copied everything Kobe was doing. And he said, he said Kobe was different. Talked about how Kobe was always wanting to win. He was chasing Jordan. And people always try to make it Kobe or LeBron. Kobe's way better than LeBron. He wanted to go after Jordan. And if he could have got that 6th ring, he would have felt like, man, I'm at the table now with Mike. But Kobe, the thing that I love what Kobe did, he was humble. As he got older, he started looking at things that were better. The down years with the Lakers. Now, Lamar talked about when he got traded to Dallas, how Mark Cuban kicked him in his shin, telling him what's going on, and he was about to beat Mark Cuban ass to sleep until, Vince was there to calm him down. He understands now why Cuban did that, but at the same time, he felt like Cuban don't do that with nobody else, or they gonna beat you down. But all this point forward talk, Lamar Odom was the one who did it. He came out of Rhode Island and he scored like a 1200 on his SAT. They basically thought he cheated. So a lot of them colleges turned away from him, and he was under investigation, and he finally was able to go to Rhode Island. He played for a year. That's when I knew about Lamar Odom. I was like, man, this guy's amazing. To be 6'9" or 6'10", able to handle the ball like he did, and could score from anywhere on the court, was deadly from the mid-range, could shoot the 3. Lamar Odom was special. See, this is what basketball was, and all you young folk who watch this, go pull up Lamar Odom from when he played with the Clippers and at Rhode Island before he became a Heat or a Laker member or Mavericks, and then was out the league. You will see that this guy was something that could have been. He talked about the Chloe situation, talked about a lot of things. It was a very, very good interview. Shout out to Matt Barnes and Captain Jack. Captain Jack's another one. If Captain Jack wasn't always burning all the time and doing that, Captain Jack would have been a great player. He was a great role player, but he could have been he had superstar ability. It was because of him that Spurs won that championship in 2004. Because he was hitting those 3s from the corner. Parker was penetrating, hitting them, and everything. Steven Jack, a real one. They asked Lamar Odom who was the hardest guy he had to defend. He said Tracy McGrady. Tracy McGrady is probably the most underrated and most disrespected superstar there ever was. If Tracy McGrady would not have gotten hurt, we would have talked about him with the Kobes, with the Jordans, with the AIs. And to me, Tracy McGrady was better than D-Wade. That's why I tell y'all be so quick to put D-Wade as the 3rd best 2-guard. Dog, I love D-Wade, and I don't want you guys to think I hate D-Wade. I don't, but dog, Dwayne Wade was great, but dog, there were guys better. You guys love the story, and because he came back from the USA team and he balled out, that season before LeBron came. But my problem with D-Wade is D-Wade never was an alpha. D-Wade was a beta. He had game that mimicked an alpha, but he was a beta. Now, Charles Barkley basically said, I don't like what the Nets are doing, I'm against them. Charles, do you want me to pull receipts? Weren't you the one who was mad at Philadelphia because they didn't bring the players in to help you win? Kevin Durant did the same thing that you did. He left and went to a better situation. You went to Phoenix with a guy in Kevin Johnson, and then they had Thunder Dan, and they had Cedric Ceballos, who's probably one of the best one-on-one players we've ever seen. You in the media are trying to tear the Brooklyn Nets down because they're threatening their king. Like I said, I didn't have the Nets winning this year. I have the Heat going, but the way the Heat been playing, I don't think they're going to make it. This playoffs is going to show who's real and who's not. That's the truth. But Charles, you talking about you're upset at what the Nets are doing. The Nets are doing it the right way. The Nets signed KD and Kyrie. They did not know Harden was going to be on the trade block. They went after Harden because if Harden would have went to the Sixers, it would have been a done data. But everybody's riding with the Sixers. Everybody's saying the Sixers could win it. Everybody picking them. But it's like this. You got a guy who's scared to shoot, and then you got another guy who's injury prone. So you trust that in the playoffs? Because I don't. I do not trust those two dynamics together. Now, Doc has to show that he can sustain, because Doc, as a coach, I think has probably blown the most 3-1 leads in history. He's a guy who's not good at adjusting when the game gets kind of out of hand or the game is turning. They had the Lakers up by damn near 20 in the fourth quarter. And they lost the lead because he didn't sub his guys out. He didn't sub anybody in or out. He basically said, we're going to roll with this. That Celtics team was stacked. And you lost. He had the Clippers with Chris Paul, Blake Griffin, and DeAndre Jordan. He choked that off. So my question is this. Are you guys going to be able to turn it up? I think Giannis and them are going to be dangerous because Drew Holiday is way better than Eric Bledsoe. So we got to see what's going to happen. Also, people are asking who's the biggest threat to the Lakers. The Clippers are going to be dangerous when it's time to play. Jazz lost Donovan Mitchell. We got to see how long he's out. They could win some games, but when the playoffs start, they're going to need Donovan Mitchell down the stretch. Everybody now jumping on the Phoenix Suns, saying the Phoenix Suns could be this. the Phoenix Suns are going to be, depending on where they're seated, if they play the Lakers in the first round, they're going to get screwed and they're going to lose that series. They are. I do not trust Devin Booker. I think Devin Booker is soft. I think he's a fake tough guy. In my opinion, I feel like he gets overglorified and he's overrated. And that's just how I look at it. Now, people are trying to say Steph Curry, the media trying to push Steph Curry to LA. Look, Steph Curry is staying in Golden State. Steph Curry would be a fool to go play with LeBron, because then it's going to be all about LeBron and they're going to look at him as an ancillary player, a guy who's a role player. So you got to really look at that. The draft of the football is at the end of the year. So, we'll talk about that later, but basketball has been terrible, man. It's just been terrible. I just don't feel it like it is. I think this season has been terrible. This play-in game they're having is stupid. But we'll see. Now, Brooklyn's thing is going to be, when it gets tough, are they going to trust one another? Or are they going to go one-on-one? Are they going to be able to handle the pressure of the league being against them, the refs being against them? How do they handle it? I'm telling you now, if Kyrie Irving is locked in, the Brooklyn Nets are going to win. If he's locked in, Kyrie's got to be locked in, and we got to see how Harden is when he come back. But like I said, it's going to be interesting playoffs. Atlanta lost last night to the Bucks. They should have won that game, but down the stretch they caved in. So we're gonna see. I might go live tonight. I think I might go live tonight. Yeah, I might go live tonight. Talk about some things. Thank you for listening. Like, comment, subscribe, share this. Hit your notification bell to select all to receive upcoming notifications. And if you like what you hear, you can donate to the page. Cash at me at the word welcome, the number 2, and then HDIITV. Thank you for listening, and we're out. Deezy!